At 84, Walter had lived a full life, two careers, three children, a lifetime of stories, and a house filled with memories. But lately, he felt something slipping. It wasn't just the creak in his knees or the way names sometimes hovered just out of reach. It was deeper, a quiet fading of momentum, like someone had slowly turned down the volume on his days. His daughter, Lisa, noticed it too. "You're still sharp, Dad," she said one morning over tea, "but I worry you're losing your spark." Walter scoffed, but the words stuck. That night, he sat in his recliner, TV muted, and stared out the window at the quiet street. His breath fogged the glass. He knew she was right, and it scared him. He spent the next few weeks thinking, observing. Why did some of his old friends seem vibrant at 88, while others faded fast at 81? What separated those who remained alert, active, and content from those who drifted into frailty? He realized there were traps, subtle patterns that led to decline. Not dramatic falls, but slow leaks of life. He saw them in others, and more worryingly, in himself. So he made a list. 5 aging traps, 5 silent enemies, and he vowed to stop them. 1. Retreating from social life. After his wife passed, Walter had pulled away from social events. He told himself it was because he didn't want to burden others or that things were just too loud now. But the truth was simpler. Grief had turned into isolation, and isolation had turned into habit. His phone rarely rang anymore. But it wasn't because people didn't care. It was because he stopped calling them first. Loneliness, he realized, wasn't just emotional. It had physical weight. It drained energy, dulled memory, and bred fatigue. So he made a rule: 1 connection a day. He called his brother in Florida. He joined the Tuesday men's coffee club at the church, even if he didn't feel like talking. He invited his neighbor's grandson to help with his garden, just for the company. Slowly, the silence lifted. Laughter returned to his house. He began to remember more names. Conversations sharpened his mind in ways puzzles and crosswords never could. 2. Ignoring small health issues. For months, Walter's left foot had tingled after long sits. He brushed it off. Probably nothing. Just age. But that nothing became a limp. The limp made stairs harder. So he started avoiding the upstairs altogether. Soon he was spending more time in his chair, less walking, less movement. One issue had created a domino effect. When he finally saw a doctor, it turned out to be a circulation problem, easily manageable with medication and a few exercises. Within weeks, he walked more comfortably. He learned this: small problems don't stay small. They grow quietly until they steal your strength. He promised himself he'd listen to his body from now on. If something hurt, buzzed, tingled, or changed, he'd speak up. Top 3, falling into the "I'm too old" mindset. He'd caught himself saying it out loud: "I'm too old for that. Too old to travel. Too old to volunteer. Too old to try online grocery shopping. Too old to learn Zoom. Too old to change." Each time it chipped away at his independence. One day Lisa suggested he try painting. "Mom always said you were great with colors." He waved it off at first. Then, late one night, he pulled an old sketch pad from the attic. The pages were yellowed, the pencils brittle. Still, his hands remembered. He began painting in the afternoons: trees, birds, quiet skies. He wasn't a master, but it brought him peace. He even joined a senior art group online, something he never thought he'd do. He stopped saying "too old." Instead, he asked, "Why not?" 4. Letting routine turn into stagnation. Walter had a routine. Wake up, oatmeal, TV, nap, mailbox, sandwich, more TV, sleep. It felt safe, predictable. But after months of it, he felt dull. Days blended together. Nothing stood out. He remembered his father once said, "When all your days look the same, they start disappearing without you noticing." So Walter decided to shake things up. Nothing wild, just small shifts. He took his oatmeal outside to watch the sunrise. He tried a new soup recipe every Saturday. He joined a local book club, even if he only read half the books. He started walking at dusk instead of morning. Newness reawakened him. Variety made time feel real again. He stopped drifting and started choosing. 5. Neglecting purpose. This was the hardest one. Purpose. In his working years, he had a role, a reason to get up, people who needed him. After retirement, and especially after his wife died, that feeling faded. He tried to fill the gap with hobbies, with TV, with routine. But nothing clicked until he realized purpose wasn't about big achievements. It was about usefulness, being needed in some small way. He began tutoring local kids in reading through a community program. Twice a week, he logged onto a video call and helped a third grader named James with vocabulary. That simple act, sharing time and knowledge, lit something inside him. He mattered again. 6 months later, Walter looked different. He moved a little easier. His eyes sparkled with the same fire Lisa remembered from years ago. She visited one Sunday and found him on the porch, sketching the dogwood tree in the yard. "You seem good, Dad," she said. He smiled. "I'm not young, but I stopped giving in to being old." She sat beside him, and they watched the sky change together. Because age isn't what takes people, it's these quiet traps. And when you spot them, name them, and push back, you find that even in your 80s, life still has room for joy, for color, for connection, and most importantly, for growth.